Alright guys, I'll make a quick video on how to change the front brake on your Lifan Xpect. It's super cheap and easy, so let's get to it. Alright, so all you need is a 5mm Allen head, which is pretty much what most bolts on this bike are. 15mm wrench, 18mm wrench, obviously brake pads. Actually don't even need really new brakes. I just want to try these out. They're like carbon ceramic. I just want to see if they're any better. They're $8.99, so I figured why not just make a video and then also just see how they perform. And then I just got some high temperature red grease that I'm going to put on the axle just a little bit in case it needs it. So let's get the front wheel off. Alrighty, I'm going to be wearing gloves because as usual I'm filming this before work in the morning and I don't want to have to deal with grease on my hands all day. So take your 15mm, take your 18mm on the other side, and then we're just going to break her loose. Alright, getting the wheels off is pretty easy. It's getting them back on, that's the hard part. So, and the way I have this set up before I take this out, I just want to show you. I have the front wheel touching the ground, but as you can see, I can lift this up a little bit. See where it's like, I can get it off the ground a little bit. That makes it easier to put the wheel back on, and actually makes it easier to take it off because everything's lined up. It's pretty much on the ground. The forks will move a little bit like that when I take it off, but it's pretty much in the same spot. And this is like just a little stand from Harbor Freight. I'll put a link in the description. It kind of sucks, but it has this bike at the perfect height. So anyway, you're gonna kind of just roll it forward. Just be careful with your speed sensor, you don't break anything. This is plastic, so. And then you'll notice on the other side here, inside the wheel, there's this little thing. Do not forget that and do not lose that. It's like a, I don't even know what you want to call it, but that goes on the brake side. So once you got your front wheel off, it's time to take the brake pads out. All right, and this is where you're gonna need your 5mm. So you have these two little bolts right here. I don't even really know what you call them, like little caps. See, they're not really like a bolt, they're just thread. But you take those out and then those reveal the actual bolts that hold the brake pads in. So this one, and then this one. All right, so at that point, your pads pretty much just fall out. And see, these are in pretty good shape. Really didn't need changed at all, but like I said, I just wanted to try these other ones and I figured why not just make a video. So now at some point, try to see if I can get a close up here. So at some point, I want to try putting like a small washer on this side, because if you see, the rotor scrapes right there, and I don't really know why. And I've also noticed that the stock pads will lightly rub on the rotor while I'm riding. So these ones are a little bit thinner, just stock. So I'm wondering if this will change the feel of the brakes and prevent that noise. And actually my other Xpect does the same thing. You can hear the pads like lightly rubbing against the rotor, but we'll get these new pads in. And here's the numbers on the stock pads in case you just wanted to get a direct replacement. Okay, so what I recommend doing is just putting this one in there first. Then you're gonna take this bolt, just get that one in. And actually, just to be safe, I'm gonna make sure the pistons are back all the way. This isn't like a car caliper. You can literally push them with your hands. There's not a lot of strength there, but yeah, they're back all the way. All right, got that first one in. Should make the second one much easier. There we go. Yeah, there's like that, probably can't see that well, but this little metal piece in the center almost has like a little bit of a spring tension to it. So you got to kind of resist that to get the pad in. And we'll just do the same thing on the other side. You might have to back the bolts out a little bit just to, and you won't need to thread them in yet. They're gonna go a long way before they thread. There. So that's pretty much good. All right, now I'll impact them since they're threaded. Don't feel like spinning it a million times. All right. Now I couldn't find a torque spec on these, so just snug them down. So then you just put the caps back on. All right, I'm just gonna snug them down. Okay, so here's the other thing you gotta do now, because you'll notice the pads are sitting a little weird. I just take a little plastic pry tool and just kind of get them in place. Once the rotor's in, they'll be in place, but so you kind of just twist it. Don't want to use anything metal because you don't want to put grooves or anything on the pads, but just something to kind of space them out. So now we can get the front wheel back on. Okay, so here's the hard part. And like I said, I recommend greasing the axle bolt. You can see it, you don't have to go crazy on it. You just want to do like a light little coating. Also, you might want to check where the speed sensor goes, make sure that's all greased up. It looks honestly fine, so I'm not going to put any on there. But if it looks like it needs it, then might want to do it then. So this is why I have it at the height that I have it at, because this makes it much easier just being able to roll it. And the speed sensor is the hardest part of this. It makes everything more difficult. And remember that little like dowel or washer, whatever you want to call it, on the brake side is in the hole, because if not, your wheel's not going to sit right. So once you get it somewhat in place, you want to make sure at least the rotor is somewhat into the caliper, and then you just want to slip that in there. Now I know there's teeth here that kind of catch on the wheel. You want to get them roughly close. They will kind of go into place. Oh, also this O-ring here too. This sometimes comes off when you take the wheel off, and this also comes out. So just make sure that's all in there. You want to get this little like piece onto that line. All right, so once you get the wheel sensor in there, kind of double check it. It's gonna get that roughly on there. And then just pretty much slide the wheel in. So once you're pretty much close, you put the axle bolt in, get it kind of lined up, get it through. Oh, push the dowel out on the other side. Like I said, this is like the worst part of taking the front wheel off. It is a pain. Although if you ship this to your house, you probably have done it before. And the bolt head goes on this side, the nut head goes on the brake caliper side, but we're pretty much in. And if you're a little worried, if the speed sensor's not hooked up right, really what you can do is just kind of spin it. And the teeth should go into place if they weren't. But you can also turn the key on and just spin the front wheel and see if you get a speedometer reading. But like I said, it just kind of goes into place. Like once you kind of spin it, this plastic teeth pretty much just go in. All right, and you're good to go. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. There'll be a video coming out pretty much right after this on how to change the rear drum brake. I'll just be filming them on separate times, so I'll just upload them in a separate video, and then they'll upload like the same day or so. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.